Yo, what's going on? It's the One More Thing Daily with myself, Dave Colombo Jenkins, and the team with lots of updates on the cool things that we are putting out into the universe. Today, I wish to welcome you to Bangertown. I am the mayor of Bangertown right now, and I want to play you a couple of bangers that we're responsible for putting out into the universe. Following that and a little update or two, we will have Marc, who is also, he is the mayor of another Bangertown in his own district, and he's going to be playing you some bangers as well. In summary, bangers. We need to kickstart this week. It's a Monday. We need something heavy to start the week, and this is what I want to play to you. Banger, absolute banger, right? That has been in my head all weekend. If you're a regular watcher of these, or if you supported the Grand Theft Audio EP that they've done for us, which I was banging on about last week, you will already know that tune. It's Hologram, it is Gucci Bounce. It has literally been an earworm in my head. Every single thing that I'm doing, whether I was driving to Weston-super-Mare and hang out with Culprit and film and interview him all day, that song was in my head. Then I went to interview Titan in Bristol, an absolutely amazing DJ, very much on the up and up. Another absolutely killer interview coming up in my head all the time. Interviewed him for an hour in this lovely studio. Went home, watched Nightmare on Elm Street. Got up, took my son to the rugby. Cooked a roast. Like, literally, that song has been in my head all weekend. So this is why I'm doing this video for you right now, basically. It's Hologram, Gucci Bounce. Like, I love the entire Grand Theft Audio EP. But as I've said in previous videos, like, that is a walloper. That is a tune that I can't wait to play out. Like, I'm literally excited to be booked again, and I hope to get to play like the right kind of time of night where I can drop an absolute hooter like that. So that is one banger that I'd like to highlight. Another banger is this. I really like that video as well. I just literally, like, I searched 90s ravers and it just fit too well. It fits so well, like, that video has had more views than any other video we've done in the free download series. That is K Jah, and that is Dirty Melody. And again, like, that's been an earworm in my head for so long, like, absolute stinker. The biggest free download that we've done in a very, very long time. The only other ones, there was one from Gifter a little while before, and one from Coda as well. One of the top three free downloads, and certainly the most popular at the moment. That absolutely kicks off, and that is totally free. Yeah, and I want to highlight that because I wasn't doing these videos when we gave that one away, and K Jah is the man. So yeah, that's my second banger. And now, because we're not always drum and bass, we like the other genres as well. We love the other genres. So we've also got this, a little reminder of Scartip. What have you done?
What have you done to him, you maniac?
And I love that. And it brings me really, really nicely on to something that I dropped last night. So I finally dropped. I've wanted to drop this for quite some time. So it's a mix that I recorded with WAWA. She is absolutely killing it. And it's every now and again you come across a DJ, any DJs watching this, I would imagine this will resonate with you. Every now and again you see a DJ and you think, oh my God, we are singing from the same song sheet here. We've got very, very similar USBs. First time I ever saw a WAWA set and heard their music, I was like, oh wow, okay, there are certain frequencies that we share here in this wonderful mixed craft. So we've done a couple of back-to-back sets now, just in Cube Studios in London. The first one we did, we recorded it in the same way, but the recording didn't come through. I'd messed up on the settings and stuff, but this one did. It's a bit of a shame that the chat box is there because it was very limited chat. It was just a little random Friday afternoon mix. Shouldn't have had the chat box on there because you don't get to see WAWA kicking off to all of the tunes quite as much as you see my hairy ass, which is a real shame. But that is a banging mix. I'm so proud of that mix. It was completely off off the cuff. It's full of absolute bangers. And that intro tune, that is Scartip, What Have You Done? And just let's have another little look at WAWA's face when that kicks in, like. That's the type of face I pulled when I first heard that tune as well. We dropped that a couple of months ago. We dropped that in the middle of September. Scartip, What Have You Done? I'm really not into labels just having this 2-week promo window and then moving on as if they never released the music. Still hugely into that Scartip, What Have You Done EP. And he just dropped, since then, he's just dropped this absolutely stinking EP on off license as well. So big up the local crew too. And just big up Scartip in general and big up everybody who supported that EP. So that's bangers there. That's 3 amazing bangers that you can get, 2 of which are totally free downloads. I mean, you can pay what you like for the hologram one. And personally, I'd pay quite a lot of money for a piece of music like that. But you can do what you like. Those tracks are all available and out there in the One More Thing universe. Many other tracks are as well. I'm actually working on a bit of a kind of mix audio collage with like snippets of interviews and tracks and stuff that we've released. We've got to that point now with our output, which is absolutely stunning. One final update from me before I hand you over to Chiz in his banger garage. Yeah, he's got a banger garage now. We've gone up in the world. It's a banger of an interview, an absolute hooter of an interview. It's a podcast. It's the first podcast in absolutely flipping ages because I've been busy doing other stuff like turning One More Thing into a bit of a label and doing festival takeovers and all the other stuff that we're doing. It's a podcast, a good old straight up old fashioned podcast with the man like high contrast, good old straight up old fashioned high contrast. Like certainly in my career, he is the most consistent person I've ever interviewed. Probably interviewed a few people more times, like Andy C or people I've done books with. But in terms of like different points in my career and his career, we seem to cross paths. Like, it's not very hard. We grew up just a couple of miles away from each other, have a lot of shared friends, and did cross each other's paths as teenagers and stuff like that. But yeah, for anything, like literally for the first ever magazine that I wrote for, Buzz Magazine, he was one of the first ever people I ever did a face-to-face interview with. Put him on the cover of IDJ magazine years later, interviewed him for DJ Mag, interviewed him for Mix Mag, interviewed him for Bandcamp, interviewed him a million times for UKF, and interviewed him a couple of times for One More Thing as well. When we launched, there was the 20 years of True Colours. And so that is, we interviewed him then, and it was one of the first kind of big written pieces that I did when we launched. So that's, probably around about there, and put a little screenshot there or something like that. But the podcast, let's have a little clip of it, yeah? Properly limiting yourself then.
Yeah, I mean, this is a thing I talk about quite often of, limitations being essential to creativity, and that it's counterintuitive to a lot of artists, but because it's so natural for us to like complain and say, if only I didn't have to make it sound this way, or I could do this whilst working in the genre, or if only I had this piece of equipment, and it's like, no, actually all those limitations are essential, and you probably need more limitations to push you even further, I think genre itself is a wonderful limitation. Like you are narrowing down so many of the possibilities with genre, which is exactly what you want, because if you say to an artist, make anything, it's like, well, where do you even begin? Like
what a guy, like high contrast. Massive salutes. That is going live at 7 p.m. And so that's the banger interview. I've given you some bangers. Now over to Chiz to tell you all about his favourite bangers and an update on the freshest drum and bass playlist. I'm off to London now to host a masterclass on music marketing. If you didn't see a video, I even did a video about this with a couple of tips last week. So if you didn't see that, I put it there in the description if you fancy having a little watch of that. But in the meantime, here's Chiz. I'll be back tomorrow. Peace.
What's happening, lovely people? It's your boy Chiz. New week, same drills. I've just updated the freshest drum and bass playlist over on Spotify. Now, every week on a Sunday, I update the playlist with the freshest releases and bangers from all corners of the drum and bass world. So whatever flavour you fancy, I've got you covered. Now, this week, I want to highlight VAs, man. There's been some absolutely wicked VAs come out this week. And firstly, I want to shout out Stellar Audio. This is Stellar Volume 1 is out now. Now, if you like your future sounding techie drum and bass, then this one's for you. Plenty of tracks from there on the playlist. 1985 released Fragment 1, and that is absolutely wicked as well. And it also delves into some other genres as well. Also, Headspace released Volume 14 of their various artists compilation. We absolutely love everything that Headspace stand for at One More Thing. So shout out to those guys there. And also Integral Records. They released 17, a wicked VA. And that is celebrating 17 years as a label. So congratulations to everybody at Integral Records. Now, we're signing off this week in a little bit of a different fashion. I'm going to have a little mix. These are CHIZ's choices. Firstly, we've got ADUKEN, Lose Myself, out now on Stellar Audio as part of This Is Stellar Volume 1. QZB, Killowatt EP. This is the title track from there, and Erotic Cafe. STFU, I'll let you leave that to your imagination as to what that stands for. And I absolutely love the name Erotic Cafe. So I'll see you next week, guys. Signing out now.
Mm-hmm.